Everybody says they want a provider, a man with money, a man who pays the rent or mortgage, pays the bills, pays for the trips, and pays for the lifestyle. On the surface, that sounds amazing because who doesn't want to feel secure? Who doesn't want to feel protected? Who doesn't want to feel like they're finally with a man who can actually lead financially? But what a lot of women are not asking themselves is what comes with that? Because when a man pays all the bills, sometimes he also expects authority. Sometimes he expects influence. Sometimes he expects access. And there are times he expects your lifestyle, your attitude, your energy, and even your choices to reflect the fact that he is funding your life. And today I want to have a real conversation, and not a bitter one, not a pick me one, not a delusional one, but a real one. Because I think a lot of women love the idea of a provider, but are not fully prepared for the realities that often come with that dynamic. This conversation is everywhere right now because people are tired. Women are tired, right? A lot of women are tired of struggling, tired of splitting 50-50, carrying emotional labor, being with men who don't lead, and still somehow ending up exhausted. So naturally, the idea of a man saying, "Don't worry, I got it," is attractive. And honestly, I understand why. Because in a world where so many women feel overworked, undersupported, and emotionally drained, the idea of a man coming and saying, "I'll cover the bills, I'll handle the pressure, I'll make sure you're okay," can feel like peace. But here's where it gets tricky, right? A lot of women are only thinking about the benefit of a provider and not the structure that often comes with it. Let's talk about this fantasy that women have. Women picture nice dinners, vacation, no rent stress, being spoiled, being feminine, soft mornings and cute errands, not feeling financially burdened. And yes, that can absolutely exist, but the reality is often more layered. The reality, when a man pays everything, he often feels like he should lead the household. His opinion should carry more weight. He should set the tone. He should have certain standards. He should not be challenged the same way as a man who contributes less. And this is where women start feeling uncomfortable because some women want a man to fund a traditional dynamic without actually wanting to participate in one. And that's the kicker for me. Like, how you want him to be a provider, be the traditional man, but you don't want to be a traditional woman. And that's where the disconnect begins. A lot of women want provider benefits with independent relationship rules. And a lot of men want traditional authority without actually providing traditional security. So both sides are asking for things they don't really want to live out. Let's tell the truth, right? Money changes relationship dynamics. It just does. If one person is paying the mortgage, the car note, the vacations, the groceries, the lifestyle, then whether people want to admit it or not, that creates a certain amount of power. Now, power is not automatically abuse. And that's important to say. Power does not equate to abuse. Power in itself isn't evil. Leadership in itself is not evil. A man having much more financial responsibility does not automatically make him controlling. But what is dangerous is when financial support becomes emotional leverage. After all I do for you, you wouldn't have this life without me. You should be grateful. I pay everything. So why are you arguing with me? You don't need to work. Why do you need your own money? That's when support stops feeling like love and starts feeling like ownership. And this is where women need to be honest. If a man pays all the bills, Do you believe that should give him more say in a relationship? This is the part a lot of women don't want to hear, but it's real. A lot of women say they want a high earning man, but are not asking themselves what kind of woman those men actually want. Not all, right? Not all. Not all. Again, not generalizing, right? But many provider minded men often want a woman who is peaceful, emotionally mature, low chaos or no chaos, respectful, supportive, polished, nurturing, loyal, socially aware, not constantly combative. And depending on the man, some also want a woman who is willing to prioritize the home, prioritize the family, prioritize his peace, move with his schedule, be less hyper independent. And this is where modern women start wrestling internally. And it's not their fault, because many women today were raised to not need a man. Keep your own. Don't let a man control you. Don't submit to anybody. So now you have women saying, I want a provider, while also saying nobody can tell me anything. Some women want to be taken care of, but not influenced. And some men want to provide, but only say they can dominate. Both of those dynamics can become unhealthy fast. When a man pays for everything, you may gain comfort, but depending on the relationship, you can also lose certain freedoms. Less financial independence, less ability to leave quickly, more pressure to maintain the relationship, more expectations to align with his standards, less room to move impulsively, less freedom to reject his influence. And some women don't realize this until they're already deep in. Being provided for can feel beautiful when the relationship is healthy. But when the relationship turns emotionally unsafe, your dependency can suddenly feel like a trap. Not every provider dynamic is unhealthy. Some women are genuinely happy in that structure. But the key is, are you choosing it freely? Or are you choosing it because you're tired and financially overwhelmed? Now, let's be fair, because men also need to hear something. A lot of men say they want women who is soft, cooperative, supportive, feminine, and easy to deal with. But they don't create an environment where a woman actually feels safe enough to become that. You cannot expect softness without emotional safety, trust without consistency, submission without integrity, peace while you're bringing chaos, appreciation while acting entitled. And this is where some men get it wrong. Because paying bills does not automatically make you a good partner. Emotionally safe, honest, disciplined, faithful, respectful. Money can fund a lifestyle. It can, but it cannot replace character. Because there are women living in nice houses, driving nice cars, wearing nice jewelry, and still crying themselves to sleep. So yes, money matters, right? But money is not the same thing as emotional security. Provision sounds like, I want to make your life easier. I want to protect you. I want to lighten your burden. I want to create safety for us. But control sounds like, you need my permission for everything. You cannot have your own car. You shouldn't question me. I pay, so I decide. A provider should create security, not fear. If his money makes you feel silenced instead of safe, that is not provision. That's control with a luxury finish. So I have a few questions for you guys. Can modern women actually handle being with a true provider? Or do we only like the aesthetics of it? Are we ready for the structure that often comes with it? Because what influenced this episode, I was driving, I listened to the Breakfast Club in the mornings, and I forgot who the ladies were. It was two. They were, I don't know how the conversation came up. I just ended up in the car when they started talking, and one of them was saying how she needs her man to make, I think it was like $1 billion, or, and the other one was like, he needs to give me like 50K a month, right? And I'm like, all I'm hearing is about money, money, money. I'm not hearing, I want a man to love me for me and be there. It's like money driven and nothing about love. Because you can have all the money in the world, but if you treat me like crap, I don't want you, you know? Money should not be the determining factor if I will date you or not. I'm more focused on how you treat me, consistency, how honest you are, respectful, faithful, emotionally secure. Like those things I look for first. You having money is not going to be on that list of things because money comes, money goes. So do we actually want leadership or just financial relief? What I think is, I don't think a lot of women want a man with money. They want relief. And those are not always the same thing, because some women are not actually looking for a masculine provider dynamic. They're looking for rest, consistency, emotional safety, partnership, someone to stop making life harder. And that's different. A woman may not actually need a rich man. She may just need a stable, generous, emotionally grounded one. A healthy provider dynamic should not feel like debt. It should feel like alignment. Let me give you some healthy signs. He provides without constantly reminding you. He does not use money to humiliate you. You still have dignity. You still have a voice. There's mutual respect. There are conversations about expectations. You are not afraid to speak up, and you are not financially stranded if something goes wrong. A healthy woman in this dynamic is appreciative, not entitled, respects the role he plays, is not combative for sport, understands that leadership and dictatorship are not the same thing, contributes value, even if it's not always financial. Just because a woman is not paying half does not mean she's not contributing. And just because a man is paying more does not mean he owns her. That's the balance. Instead of asking ladies, can he pay the bills? We need to start asking, is he emotionally safe? Is he generous or controlling? Is he disciplined or flashy? Is he stable or just spending? Does he want partnership or obedience? Can I trust him with power? Because any man can spend money. Not every man can carry power responsibly. Personally, I think a lot of women romanticize provider men without really thinking through what that lifestyle asks of them emotionally. And I also think a lot of men romanticize being providers without understanding the emotional maturity, discipline, and character that role actually requires. So no, this isn't about saying women shouldn't want men with money. And it's not about saying men shouldn't want respect, peace, or structure. It's about being honest. Because if he's paying all the bills, you need to know whether he's building a safe life with you or buying influence over you. And that is a very different relationship. Would you date a man who pays all the bills if it meant he expected to lead the relationship? Be honest in the comments because I know this one's going to start a conversation. I know, guys, it's been way too long. I was just going through the winter blues. I diagnosed myself with seasonal affective disorder and I just couldn't get myself back up, but I'm here. The weather's getting better. But I hope you guys like this episode. I am back. If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. It's the Tea List Queen. Have a good day. Mwah.